Hi to my Danish readers. I'm Karen McManus. I want to thank you so much for your support of One of Us is Lying, and I'm so excited for you to read my next book, Echo Ridge. So it takes place in a small town that has a very tragic past, and history might be repeating itself. So we have two main characters. There's a girl named Ellery, and she has to move to town with her twin brother after her mom goes to rehab, and her mom's in kind of a bad place in life. And Ellery thinks it might be because she's never gotten over the fact that her own twin sister disappeared from that town 20 years ago. When she's there, she meets Malcolm, who's the other main character. And Malcolm's older brother is suspected but never convicted of having murdered his girlfriend 5 years ago. So both of them are growing up in the shadow of these unsolved mysteries in this town. And then a third girl disappears, and they were the last ones to see her. So they are trying to figure out what's happening in Echo Ridge. Is this a coincidence, or is something tying all of this together? I didn't necessarily set out to write mysteries, but I think mysteries found me. My first idea for One of Us is Lying was a mystery, but I was very interested in the characters. And so the character study was equally as important to me as the mystery, but the mystery was a lot of fun to write. And so with my second book, I also care about the characters, and I care a lot about what happens to people who grow up in the shadow of something tragic but didn't necessarily experience it themselves. So in this book, there's not only the big mystery of what keeps happening to these young women in Echo Ridge, but there's all these little sub-mysteries within the families, within the town, within the school system, and they all add up to a much bigger picture. And that for me is very fun, building those blocks of a mystery. It's my new name.
Yeah.
So my third book is going to be a sequel to One of Us is Lying. It's very much a sequel in a companion book sort of way. It's not from the point of view of the four main characters from that first book. So we'll see lots of them and we'll know what's happening to them, but it's a whole new mystery. This is a very toxic little high school, and there is another gossipy game that's being played. A couple of my biggest young adult inspirations were Suzanne Collins, The Hunger Games. That sort of got me started wanting to write young adult. And then when I started wanting to write contemporary, I was very inspired by Becky Albertalli, by Jan D. Nelson, and by Courtney Summers. Of course, when I go on the adult side of things, I love Gillian Flynn. Gone Girl was also a big inspiration of mine. I'm eagerly waiting to see what she does next. And then every once in a while, I like to read something that's completely out of my element, read some fantasy. Maybe, I tried it.
Yeah.
I tried that with my very first unpublished books.
Yeah.
The world building wasn't there at the time, but maybe as a more seasoned writer, I could pull that off. I enjoy the genre, so we'll see.